From time to time, we come across someone who can do something so remarkable that it defies belief, and in this case, seems to defy gravity. It's the story of Alex Honnold. He's a 26-year-old rock climber from Sacramento, California, but not just any rock climber.
A 3,000-foot wall of granite rises from Yosemite Valley, smooth, sheer, and merciless. Most climbers spend days scaling it, hauling ropes, food, and gear, clinging to the rock with every ounce of strength. But in June of 2017, one man stood at its base and made a decision that defied reason. He would climb it alone, no ropes, no protection, no second chances. This is the story of Alex Honnold and the day he performed one of the greatest and most terrifying human feats ever witnessed. Alex Honnold was not the archetype of an extreme athlete. Born in Sacramento in 1985, he was quiet, awkward, and painfully shy. As a teenager, he preferred the solitude of a climbing gym to the chaos of school hallways. His family wasn't wealthy. There was no silver spoon, no elite coaches or private training. But what Alex did have was an obsessive focus. While his peers drifted through hobbies, Alex clung to climbing with a grip as relentless as his own on the rock. By his late teens, he had chosen a life most would call reckless. He dropped out of college, moved into a beat-up van, and began living on the road, eating cheap meals, showering when he could, and chasing stone walls across the American West. It was the beginning of a journey that would redefine what humans believe is possible. Honnold's reputation grew not just because he was skilled, but because of how he climbed. While most climbers relied on safety systems of ropes and hardware, Alex preferred the purest, most dangerous style, free soloing. Free soloing is climbing stripped bare. No harness, no gear, nothing between success and certain death. To slip even once meant the end. By his 20s, Honnold had already stunned the climbing world with audacious solos of Half Dome and other iconic walls. His control and calmness under pressure seemed superhuman. But for Alex, there was always a bigger question lurking. What about El Capitan? El Capitan, or simply El Cap, is Yosemite's crown jewel. A vertical wall of granite stretching nearly a kilometer into the sky. Generations of climbers had battled up its face with ropes, hammers, and determination. But free solo? That was unthinkable. Or was it? But even Alex knew one mistake could mean the end of his story before it truly began, and that fear almost stopped him. Climbing El Cap without ropes wasn't just a test of skill. It was a puzzle of survival. The route Alex chose, known as Freerider, is over 30 pitches of climbing, each with its own challenges. Some sections are smooth slabs with nothing but friction to keep you from slipping. Others, like the infamous Boulder Problem, demand gymnastic precision on holds no wider than a credit card. Alex spent years rehearsing the route with ropes. He mapped every sequence, memorized every detail, until it became a choreography of life and death.
We followed him for 2 years as he practiced and weighed whether to attempt the solo climb. It's early June 2017. I can tell that Alex is kind of peaking in terms of his training and everything he's doing.
His training went beyond strength. It was about mastery of the mind. Scientists once scanned his brain and discovered something unusual. His amygdala, the part that processes fear, barely reacted to images that would terrify most people. Alex could keep calm where others would freeze, but even he was haunted by doubt. He postponed the climb multiple times, admitting later that fear had crept in. For a man who lived without ropes, fear was the one enemy he could not afford. And yet, on a summer morning in 2017, Alex decided the time had come. He tied his shoes, dipped his hands in chalk, and began the climb of his life. June 3rd, 2017. Just after sunrise, Alex Honnold placed his hands on the cool granite of El Capitan and started moving upward. There was no rope trailing behind him. No partner calling encouragement, only silence. At ground level, his movements looked smooth, almost casual, but as he rose higher, the stakes became unbearable. By the time he reached 500 feet, a fall would mean certain death. By 1,000 feet, he was alone in a realm few humans have ever entered. Then came the crux, the Boulder Problem, a sequence of brutal moves where he had to balance his body on nothing but tiny edges, then kick his foot across a gap in what climbers call a karate kick. Thousands of feet above the valley floor, Alex executed it flawlessly. Observers below held their breath. Every second could have been his last. But Honnold moved with a precision born from years of preparation. For nearly 4 hours he flowed upward, move after move, until at last he pulled over the final ledge. Alex Honnold had done the impossible. He had free-soloed El Capitan. If stories like this inspire you, hit subscribe, because more feats are coming. The climbing world erupted. Some called it the single greatest athletic achievement in history. A performance so daring and flawless, it redefined human limits. Others criticized it, arguing that the risk was reckless, that Alex had courted death for glory. But beyond the debate, one truth was undeniable. The climb captured imaginations worldwide. It was immortalized in the documentary Free Solo, which won an Academy Award. Millions who had never set foot on rock felt the tension, the fear, and the awe of that climb. Alex himself was understated. For him, it wasn't about adrenaline or fame. It was about mastery, about moving with complete freedom on the stone, stripped of everything except skill and focus. And even now, years later, no one has repeated the feat. El Capitan stands, as it always has, but only one human has ever climbed it without a rope. But the question remains, was this the greatest feat of human endurance, or simply the bravest act of controlled madness? Alex Honnold's climb of El Capitan wasn't just about rock and chalk. It was about fear, control, and the razor's edge of possibility. When most people look at a vertical kilometer of granite, they see death. Alex saw a path, and he proved that sometimes the boundary between impossible and possible is only as wide as a fingertip. This is Human Feats series. Don't just watch, join the journey. Subscribe, like, and share. And now I want to hear from you. Would you call Alex Honnold's free solo the greatest athletic achievement in history? Or was it something else entirely? Comment below.